Let's jump into the A topic. We're in the playoffs right now. The Timberwolves have exceeded what people thought. If you told me a 23-win team would make the playoffs, even though 7 seed would make the playoffs, I'm not sure I would take that bet, knowing that you have to increase by at least 17 wins, at least 17 to 18 wins in order to accomplish what they've done. When you look at the Clippers were 40-40 at one point. So you're thinking you got to get to at least 41 wins or 42 wins even to feel secure for that play-in 8th seed. But as we jump into this, and my producer Sam is with me today. Sam, when you think about the Minnesota Timberwolves, I don't think that strikes fear in a lot of people. I think that's why so many people aren't taking them serious. So the question you posed to me was, what are the expectations, or what are going to exceed my expectations? Well, I say Western Conference Finals. When you look at the fact that they're probably going to have to go up against the Wizards next, I think Western Conference Finals. Now, if Steph Curry pulls a Kevin Durant, comes back too soon, hurts his foot again, because right now he's saying he's not 100% and he doesn't need to be. Well, if I'm the Timberwolves and I hear that, and you can't overlook the Grizzlies, because the Grizzlies are the 2 seeds, so you got to win that, and who knows what's going to happen there. But if you heard that, I don't have to be 100% to do what I do in the playoffs. My thought is, man, we just got to beat the Grizzlies, and then we got to put the pressure on Steph to have to do everything possible on that bad wheel. And so when you're thinking about Klay Thompson just coming back from injury, working himself back into basketball shape, regular season basketball shape and playoff basketball shape are totally different things. So my expectations for them exceeding it would be Western Conference Finals. A letdown would be getting absolutely destroyed by the Grizzlies after that celebration they just had and going out 4-0. That would be a complete disappointment. When you look at the Wild and you look at their stat totals and you look at Kevin Fiala and you look at, Fleury right now, what he's doing and how well he's playing and how they have 2 goalies that they can really count on. I mean, not a lot of teams can say that. Some teams say we have a starting goalie and then we have a guy that we're going to bring in. Well, the Wild have an embarrassment of riches right now. And of course, we're not even talking about Kirill Kaprizov, who's leading the team. You look at their size, their ability to lean on folks, their ability to push you into the crease, hit you against the boards, and really lean on you when they're up so that you're tired. And that 90 seconds, you're coming off a lot sooner, or in that 90 seconds, you're just gassed because you're like, man, these dudes are so big, so long, so strong. And so I think the same for them, the conference finals or whatever it is for the Stanley Cup, the Final Four. That for me, I don't think that's exceeding expectations for me for the Wild, where they are right now. When you look at where they stand right now, their size, their ability to score, they have to get to that Final Four. Again, another disappointment for them would be exiting in the first round. With all the hype right now around the Wild, all the players are adding, all the tweets about them, the way they're putting up 3 to 5 goals a game, the way everybody's contributing, the assists, the goals, all the buzz. To lose in the first round, that would be a huge disappointment in my opinion. That's just me, though. For the Timberwolves, you have to be competitive. You have to go out there and compete. You have to show these Grizzlies that you are better than them. You have to show Karl-Anthony Towns to the world and say, stop saying I'm the biggest shooting big man. Yes, we know you won a 3-point contest. That's shooting in a bubble. That's having fun with your friends at the park. You do it in the game. Put your back to the basket and be a bully. Be a big man. Look at Jokic, what he does. It's okay to shoot every once in a while, but you have to pick your shots. If you're wide open at the top of the key, take it. But don't force it because you just want to get a 3 off to tell everybody you're the best, big man shooting guy in the world or ever and all this stuff. Like, play your game. Be big. Go down. Use your size. Use the ability that if they want to double team you like we saw, be ready to dump it off. Make Ja Morant force the issue. Make him drive ridiculous and throw up crazy shots, hoping to get fouls. That's going to be the key. That's going to be Karl-Anthony Towns has to stay out of foul trouble. D'Angelo Russell and Ant Edwards, they have to find a way to play together. Jared Vanderbilt, he has to come up big. He has to help the team out wherever. If it's offensive rebounds, if it's defensive rebounds, whatever it is, he's got to be able to help this team out. You're facing a really good Grizzlies team, though. You're facing a guy in Bane who can score in bunches whenever Ja Morant's not there, and you have a guy in Ja Morant who is scary. He's not a great, like I wouldn't put him in a great 3-point shooting category. I would say he can shoot, but not having a hand in his face, that's going to be the key. You have to have a hand in his face, but don't feel like it's Steph Curry where you got to run 50 people at him and you're nervous every time he pulls up. Because if Ja's off and Ja's forcing it, Timberwolves can win that game and that series. But that would be a disappointment for me. I don't know. What do you think, Sam?
If the Timberwolves win one series, it's a gigantic success. I mean, I expect, honestly, I expect a competitive series against Memphis, and I think that they're probably not favored to win it. I mean, I think that realistically, the likeliest case scenario is Memphis wins this series in 6 or 7. If the Wolves can steal the series and go play Golden State or Denver, that's a gigantic success. I don't think they can defend well enough 2 series in a row to make the Western Conference Finals. That's why I'm not expecting that. I would just love, a competitive series, maybe a Wolves upset against Memphis. That would be unbelievable for this franchise because they're already playing with house money. This is already kind of a successful season for them, where they've gotten versus where they've been. Now, the Wild, I think back to a video that came out before the season where Bill Guerin was in the locker room talking to the team, and he said, you know what this season is about? It's about bleeping winning. That's the sole focus of this team. They have set the bar at Stanley Cup. So if they do anything less than make the Western Finals, I think it's going to be disappointing. And you know what? They are running into an absolute buzzsaw with the way the NHL bracket is laid out. They're going to have to play St. Louis in the first round. St. Louis is 9-0-1 in the last 10. If they win that series, they got to play Colorado, who's arguably the best team in hockey. They've won 9 of their last 10. They're both going into the playoffs on an absolute tear, and the Wild are right in that part of the bracket. So I think the Wild have a really tough path, but I think they're also the higher-end team. So it's going to be a bloodbath in the NHL playoffs. It could go either way, but I think the Wild need to justify those lofty expectations by going in and winning 2 series. They've only been to the Western Finals once, ever, in 20-plus years. And this is the team, I think, that has to do it. I mean, they've set the bar there from the beginning, and they got to deliver.
Yeah, and so when you think about that, you laid it out perfectly. Any sport is about momentum. If you think about the Warriors and the times they've won and people question it, or the 72 whatever win season, 73 win season they lost. What happened? Kyrie Irving, momentum. That bucket to him looked like the ocean. It's about momentum. So it's not always about, like you said, those 9-win teams right now out of 10. If the Wild can get hot and play the Kyrie Irving role where they just do not care who's playing in front of them. They don't care who you line up against them. They don't care if it's the Hawks, the Mohawks, the Sawhawks, the Seahawks. Line them up. We're going to beat them. And I think that's what the Wild, when you think about it, and I keep hearing about their size and their length. You just watch some of the plays that are happening. It's crazy, the things they can do. And again, back to the Wild, same thing. I think it's about momentum. I think they have it right now, at least for the 7th seed win, the play-in win, the energy they got, the mentality they have now. But also they have to realize now the world is watching. Their game was the best playing game of all of them that played. Every other playing game was a snooze fest. Every other playing game just doesn't have the same oomph that theirs had. And, this playoff series, you look at the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves, it's the best matchup right now as far as on paper. When you look at Ant Edwards and Ja Morant and the athleticism, you look at Steven Adams, you look at Karl-Anthony Towns and the brutality that's going to happen. Like, that's what people are looking forward to. Then it comes down to Bane and D. Russell. Which third guy is going to show up? Is Bane going to get it done, or is D. Russell going to get it done? Because I think the superstars and the bigs have to cancel each other out. And hopefully our big comes on top of theirs, but comes out on top. But you have to have that third guy. You have to have that third guy to make some noise. And we don't know who it could be Beasley. Might need to hit 4 threes. We don't know who the unsung hero is going to be, that third wheel, but somebody has to do it.